Mangwanani,
Masquerade.
Makadini.
We are the Katiyos.
Welcome to our channel. So today we are discussing a hot topic. Our hot topic for this week, in case you didn't know, we were trying to answer or discuss the question, should people pay to attend your wedding? Should you make people pay to come to your wedding? Is it okay? For those who didn't see that, it's probably because you don't follow us on Facebook and Instagram. So when we do hot topics, we'll post it on our story on Facebook and Instagram, which is why it's important to follow us there, because we post things that are slightly different from or what we post here. We post, small little funny videos and pictures and stuff like that. So check out our Facebook and our Instagram. So we got a resounding level of response, can I say? A lot of people responded. We had over 200 interactions, which shows that it really is
a hot topic.
A hot topic. 71% of our voters said no, people shouldn't pay to come to your wedding. And 29% said yes, people should pay to come to your wedding. So as we discuss, I will be sharing some of the views from people. People sent their views. And so I will represent the majority. No, people shouldn't pay. And for the sake of this video, Titenda is going to represent the minority in this case. That yes, people should pay. And then I think at the end, we'll share our own actual views as well, if you're keen. All right, so growing up in Zimbabwe, and maybe a few of you guys who are from Africa can relate, people didn't pay to come to weddings. If someone is doing a wedding, you would just turn up. Your main expense is finding a suit and transport to get to the wedding, right? And that's sort of how it worked. Bear in mind, in Zimbabwe, the food, right, at weddings was very different. People, when I was growing up, they didn't really wed in crazy wedding venues. People would wed at their church. People would wed, in their church hall. They would, change it up and put tables there. People would wed maybe at schools, or people would put up a tent.
Yeah.
Right. And people would actually do most of the cooking themselves. It was classic rice, chicken, beef, coleslaw, salad, and muchato wa fire. So that's sort of the understanding of a wedding that I grew up having.
Yeah.
You understand that the venue did not really matter. Like it could be a tent, it could be summer hall. Wedding was about family coming together, celebrating people. And weddings, people could have weddings even if they've been married 20 years, right? People could have weddings even after they have children, and their children could be in the bridal team. Okay. So it didn't seem to matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the background I understand, and maybe some people can relate. That's traditionally was about that. And even my father-in-law and my dad even explained to me that back in the day, back, when they would do the rora and stuff, they would actually have two weddings. They would celebrate, the girl's side of the family. They would do like a wedding or celebration, kumamisha kwao. Then from there, they take it back to where the groom's from. So they used to have two weddings traditionally, so to say. Okay. So what about you? Where did this new culture start? Or,
I think this new culture started, I think it's a recent thing, to be honest. I would say last 5 years.
Last 5 years, okay.
10 years ago, I was young. I didn't really go to many weddings anyway. So,
Yeah.
But I would say in the last 5 years, it's definitely become a thing that you pay to go to someone's wedding. And I think that's purely because weddings in general are expensive.
Very expensive.
But I think when you compare the price back home in Africa to the price here, it's about double.
Double, yeah.
If not, depending on what you want to have.
Yeah.
3 times the amount.
Which is why some people actually fly back
to do their wedding
big
there.
lavish weddings there. Of course, some they do it because their family is there, but some actually do it as well because it's cost effective.
It's a lot cheaper to have you can have a beautiful wedding in Zimbabwe for the price that you would have an average wedding here, simply because the prices are just ridiculous here.
So what makes the price so high?
There's wedding surcharges, and that's just...
Please speak in language you understand. Speak loud.
When you're
what makes weddings so expensive?
Well, the fact that there's a surcharge, so they add an extra charge because it's a wedding. So usually if you inquire about a venue, they'll ask you, are you having a party?
Yeah.
Are you having a funeral? What is this for?
Okay.
The prices differ. If you're having a wedding, the price is a little bit higher than if you're having a party.
Why is that?
Simply because brides pay more. They will pay because a wedding is a once in a lifetime thing.
Okay.
A party, you can have party after party after party after party. A wedding usually only happens once. At the same time, brides want quality and they are willing to pay. Whereas with a party, you'll find another venue. With a wedding, if you love that venue, then the likelihood of you finding another venue that has exactly what you want or that looks exactly the way that you want is very slim.
Right.
So they know that there's plenty of venues out there.
Okay.
But wedding venues in Australia or even in Victoria, there's probably about, 12? 10 or so. Maybe less than that. So by this point, we've been to a few weddings. I'm sure we've been to now we're doing double ups because we've been to pretty much every venue that's in Victoria. So they know that. So they add an extra charge onto wedding things. Even photographers add a charge. Even caterers add a charge.
Well, I was a photographer before. It's not that we add an extra charge, mate.
Okay, the hours are more.
But it's hard work.
It's a lot of work. The hours are more as compared to everything else. So everything is more expensive when it comes to a wedding than any other event.
Okay, so why should people pay? Okay, it's expensive. So why should people
Well, because $30,000 for a wedding...
Is that all?
What do you mean, is that all?
Is that all?
That's the
Hey, I'm on team no, you don't want to pay. Is that all?
Do you have $30,000 in your bank account?
You should go to work and if it does.
At the same time, I think the main problem is the fact that these days it's no longer just 50 of your closest friends and families.
Okay. A lot of people who are on team no were saying people shouldn't have a wedding they can't afford. So if you can't afford a wedding, don't have one or downsize it instead of making us pay to come to your wedding.
Yeah, but even
what do you have to say to that?
Even if you downsize, if you want to, by downsizing, then you're having at a community hall. That's the honest truth.
Yeah, but if that's what you can afford.
Most people don't want to have their wedding at a community hall. They want to have it at a...
Why? So if you have it at the community hall where you can afford, you would be able to cater for us.
Yes, but at the same time, that's not your dream wedding. That's not what you want.
Well...
No bride...
Okay.
No, hold on. No bride wants to... Some people don't care, but some people do.
Okay, so I've got a dream car. I've made it no secret that it's a Bentley Continental GT, right?
Yep.
I can't afford it yet. God willing, who knows? So should I make all my friends pay me money so that I can live out my dream?
No.
That's what you say, that everyone has a dream wedding.
Okay, yes.
So, so should I make everyone pay for my dream?
No, nobody's going to pay towards your car.
So why should people pay towards my wedding? What's the difference?
That's the thing, you don't have to. You don't have, if you can decline the invitation.
You're running away from the argument.
Decline the invitation if you don't want to pay.
The argument is, if you can't afford this luxurious venue, just go where you can afford.
Okay, but the thing is, let's say you are my whoever, second cousin or whatever. Or let's say our circumstance, or most people's circumstances, that On average, your wedding is looking at about 150 people, 100 people.
Oh, while you're there, there's a girl here. Sorry, guys. We're not gonna say your names just because some people might not be comfortable.
Yeah.
Unless I know you and you're my friend, I will say your name. But if someone we don't know, it's hard. Like, we might say your name and you might get offended. So there's this girl here. She said, no. If it's your function, you need to do what you can afford. Just cut the numbers down. So instead of having 150 guests, cut the numbers down.
But it's hard, because then you have someone's friend saying, hey, you didn't invite me. Because we all know more than 150 people. And these days, everyone has an entitlement that they're going to be invited to your wedding.
All right, maybe I'll step in to your side for a second. I think, for example, okay, from an African perspective, we know a lot of people. Not because we physically know a lot of people, but because we are community-based people, right?
Yeah.
For example, if me and you are going to have a wedding, my parents are going to want to invite their friends. I'm not friends with them, but for the sake of community, maybe because they've been invited to those people's kids' weddings, or that person, maybe I was sick when I was 5 and they borrowed my parents' money to take me to the hospital. All kinds of stories. They want to invite their people. And they won't feel like it's a wedding if their people are not there, okay? On top of that, we are Christians. We go to church. So we've got a church community. And I don't necessarily hang out and speak to everyone in my church family, but people know me. Hey, we know each other. It's kind of hard for me to say you can come and you can't. On top of that, from our church, right? When I did my bachelor's, it's sort of the men of integrity, or the men's ministry, contributed some money to help me with my bachelor's, right? And the women came together for yours, okay? But for me to then say, okay, you came to my bachelor's, but I don't want you at my wedding, it's also kind of awkward, isn't it? So, but of which, when you did your women's thing, did those women pay to attend, or you paid for them?
I paid for them.
And how many came?
I think it was about 107 or something.
So if you can afford to pay for your whatever that was,
bridal shower,
why can't you afford to pay for the wedding? 107. You got money. You got money.
There's a difference between $30 per head.
Okay.
As compared to $80 per head.
So are you saying the type of meal?
The type of meal that people... My kitchen tea was a high tea.
Yeah.
It's nibbles and things like that. You're not going there to...
Kusaradumbu. So you're saying, so like I told you, people would just cook rice and stuff. Family would come together, help. But here, even now, the venues provide the food.
Yeah,
is that why the price has gone up?
The price has gone up. There's the likelihood of you finding a venue that's willing for you to have an external caterer or to cater yourself is very slim, especially here. You would need just a venue that does anything like a community hall or things like that. But if you want to have a wedding venue that looks like majority of what other people's wedding venues look like, but do your own catering, the likelihood is 0.
Okay, so I've got a couple of messages here. Someone said it's a day where family and friends come together for love.
Yeah.
So they shouldn't be charged. Fair point. We're celebrating, African background. Someone said in Uganda, friends and family contribute money to help you with your big day. So she's saying, no, people shouldn't be charged to come to your wedding because in Uganda, friends and family contribute. So which means essentially that the friends and family cover the costs of everyone who's not friends and family. So in a way, could you say this in Uganda, people are paying to attend the wedding? People who are close to you?
Yeah, it's the friends and family that are expected to pull the weight. But can you expect your friends and family to pull 30K?
Depends how many friends and family you have and if they are rich. I mean, you could be friends with Bill
30
Gates.
people.
You could be friends with Bill Gates.
And he'll cover the whole cost. But you get 30 people, please contribute $1,000 towards my wedding. Friend, family.
Another one said, simple wedding. I would rather do a wedding within my means. You say, hey, dream wedding. Do a simple. What's your response to that?
Yes, kuda's dream. It's enjoy your life. Enjoy your life.
Although she did say, depending on the people, for some of us, a simple wedding. So so some people want a simple wedding.
Some people don't mind a simple wedding. Some people do.
Okay. What's the difference in a simple wedding and what makes some mind? What's the mentality?
I think it's just the mentality.
Can you explain? Tell me the mentality.
Well, some people don't want to have this lavish.
What's a lavish thing? Can you explain?
As in, like, to do, I don't know, a la carte, 4 course, out in wherever, large chateau, whatever place.
Okay, I grew up in Africa, yeah? There was none out of that. I had a tent. We had a tent, we ate chicken and rice. So where is this mentality of la carte coming from?
From here, being it.
So that means this person experienced that before. Hence they know it. Because if you have never experienced la carte, how would you know about it?
Yeah. Well, majority of all the weddings that we have gone to.
Where? In the Western world.
The Western world.
But I'm sure it's like that in Zim now too.
Yeah. I've been to a wedding in Zim. I've been to a few weddings.
Yeah, was it la carte?
No.
What was it?
It was like a buffet style.
Buffet. So you dishwagger?
No, it was getting dished by other people.
Okay. So pretty much, my point is, these people who want big things, maybe they went to someone's event and it was popping.
I want also.
So they want also. So, let's say my friend is Bill Gates. His wedding was popping. I just realized I don't have my ring. I was doing something.
We were cleaning.
I'm sorry. Morning. I know someone is going to mention it. I'm married to this woman. Forgive me. Okay? Anyway. My friend's Bill Gates. I want his nice wedding. But I'm mad.
You don't have Bill Gates money.
So then why can't I downsize and understand that?
I mean, you can. To a certain degree, you have to downsize in certain areas, you know. It's not everyone that's gonna have a 12 Porsches escort each bride or couple into the reception venue. Okay,
so I've got 2 other views here. One girl said, in Africa, where I come from, we don't pay, so it doesn't make sense to me. Then another one said, interesting topic. In Australia, I think it's reasonable. Wedding planning is very costly. Okay. We're giving you.
It is.
Could you state some of the costs?
The bulk main cost is the venue. I remember when we were looking at quotes and stuff, looking at picking the venue that we want. The lowest price was about $85.
Lowest price of what? What was that?
Of venues.
Okay, mate. You need to explain it. So was the venue $85 for what? What am I paying for? What's this $85?
So the lowest price of venue per person is in with the minimum.
What's the 85 for? I'm from Africa.
I'm
what
gonna get to it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get to that. Yeah, you give me a
all right. Yep.
85 per person for the meal, for a set meal of entree, main, and dessert.
3 courses.
That's excluding the drinks. On top of that, you have to pay for drinks of maybe 20 per person. So that's what, $105.
Okay. How many people did you have at your women's whatever?
107.
107 times 85. That's 9,000. That's all right.
9,000.
9,000.
Okay, so that's standard.
Okay, so but then I guess suppose that's your women's thing, right? So maybe I will have my own 107.
Yeah.
So now we're in 18,000.
18,000
for food, no drinks.
Just food, no drinks.
No drinks.
No
DJ.
No DJ.
No cameraman.
No cameraman. No video.
No cake.
No cake.
No dress.
No cars. No dress. No suit. No bridesmaids.
So 18,000 just for food.
Just for food and for the venue. Toyatine mahudi zedu. With our own car.
Okay.
And our own cake.
All right. There's a girl here who said, I can only pay for the number I budget for. If anyone on top of that wants to come, they have to pay for themselves.
I think that's...
What do you think about that? There's a whereby... So how do you break that?
Exactly. That's the thing.
How would you tell... Okay.
You
Hi, I'm having my wedding.
You're outside.
Okay, Tatenda and Rudo and Josh, your siblings, but I'm very close with Josh. So Josh is catered for, but you, Tatenda and Rudo, if you want to come,
you pay for yourself.
$85. How would you do that in the right way where you don't offend people?
It's hard. You need to think about a smart way of doing it if you wanted to go through that way.
But that could be a possibility. Or you could say, you could open it up and say, I have the first 80 people to RSVP come.
First in, best dressed.
Okay. Another issue. Now, I'm helping you here. You're not a good lawyer, isn't it? Another issue that you said you faced when you did your women's thing. You were paid what? $35 per head.
Some people
for food.
didn't show up.
Some people said I'll come and they didn't come.
Yeah.
So that means you still have to pay that venue. Okay.
Empty seats, paid for empty seats, and that's just $35. What more? $105, and then I don't know, 12 people don't show up.
And these people said they're coming.
And these people RSVP'd and said, I'm coming, and you paid for them. That's why that guy on Instagram, there was some guy on Instagram sending invoices back to people who didn't show up at the wedding. It's a lot of money for someone to say, I'm coming, and then not show up.
Okay, so someone I know here, hostess Pam out there, I'm adding you. She said, I worked for mine. So when people charge people to come to their weddings, I don't understand that. I worked for my wedding. Why can't you work for your wedding? Did you have hands? What do you have to say to that argument?
I think it's valid. If you worked for your wedding, it's valid too.
So why can't you work for yours?
The times have changed.
It wasn't that long ago.
I mean, it wasn't that long ago, but still, there's always inflation, you know? There's always inflation.
Where did this person wed?
I think she wedded here. I can't remember actually. I'm not sure.
In Zim.
Oh, in Zim. Oh, well, there you go.
I'm like, help. You're not a good lawyer for your side,
Listen,
honestly.
This is why I didn't do law.
My word. A camera had switched off, so I went and got my ring. Because I know there'll be people in the comment section. There'll be people in the comment section. All right. Yes. In Africa, makes sense as to why people would wait for so long to wait, because they have to raise the money. Right? But then, if you're in the diaspora and you're African and you're Christian, big problem. Number one, you're marrying a girl who's grown up here with Western things, understanding, right? So she wants a big engagement ring, like Anna Brittany, Michelle, her friends. For the white people, they buy the engagement ring.
That's it.
And they have the wedding. And they can stay together, engaged for years, and even divorce. Oh, and whatever, sometimes for years, then they get married, no issue. But for us, you need to buy the big engagement ring, ka-ching. But you have done nothing because you haven't paid lobola. Then you have to pay the lobola. But she wants muchacho on top. So it's a big cost. Which is, I can understand why some people are charging. Interesting. All right, another thing here is DJ, BTK, my boy, he said, yes, charge, except your family. And if they're your family, they'll probably sponsor some part of the wedding. Mm-hmm. But to my fake friends, Vanongo, we are just to complain and eat and say, hey, the DJ didn't play my song. I'll translate that. It's like, your family shouldn't pay. Everyone else should pay. Your family will probably help you. But all fake friends who just come and complain and eat and complain that the DJ didn't play their song, they should pay.
He's right. It's true though, because sometimes, some people have a expectation that they will be invited to your wedding, but they're not even that close to you. They don't even know you. They don't even speak to you, and they come there. They don't bring a gift. You paid for them, and they just want to sit there and say, headdress, the dance floor, the food was cold.
And then Jamaica too, people always say they can't hear you. Speak up. You see, I'm telling you. Someone said, I think it was someone, Cynthia said in the comments, tell her to speak up. Speak up. Okay.
Sorry, Cynthia. Sorry.
What way?
I was saying.
So some people come and...
Yeah, some people will come and they'll just be like, oh, you pay for them to come. They come. Then they come there and they say, headdress, the dance floor, the food was cold.
Okay. One person said, the gifts you get are enough. Now I'm just trying to think.
Do people even...
bring the gifts?
Bring gifts anymore?
Because I'm remembering there's one wedding we went to together.
Yeah.
And it was a free wedding. All expenses paid. And we went to
the gift
to
table.
give our envelope. And the gift table was empty.
Concerning.
People were not giving. But the wedding was free. So not charging does not always mean that you get gifts. Is that true?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. If people don't even bring gifts to people's parties, what more your wedding?
It's a wedding, not an art theater. What does that mean?
Not an art or theater. You pay. It's an exhibition. It's a show. It's a concert.
Okay. Interesting. Anyway, let's wrap it up. We don't want the video to be 1 hour long. State all your facts. You've heard what I have to say. What's your final conclusion? Or do you need time?
My final conclusion is that I personally think it's one of those things where there's no right or wrong. You can't please everyone. And your circumstances are different for each person. So what this person did with their wedding, whether they charged or not, is dependent on their factor. Some people have parents that are able to fund the whole wedding or put a large sum towards the wedding. Some people don't.
Yeah.
Some people are getting married in the space of 6 months. Some people are getting married in the space of 2 years. So the money you can raise in 6 months is very different from the money you can raise in 2 years.
And there are a lot of factors. I've just touched. Some people might need to get married quickly because maybe someone doesn't have the paperwork, for example, or maybe they just can't wait. For the Bible, your flesh, it's best you get married. They can't hold on any longer. It's true. Yeah. So some people don't have the time, or maybe someone just got their job, recently as well. They haven't been working for that long.
Yeah.
So they don't have time to save up. So anyway, continue.
So I think it depends on a lot of factors. So you really need to sit down and decide within yourself, your partner, and your family, what do we want to do? Do we want to pay for half and then the guests pay for the other half? Do we want to cover all the costs of the guests? Do we want the guests to pay for themselves? Whatever it is, you need to be happy with yourself and with the decision that you've made for yourself, not according to what others have done before you or what others will say. Regardless of what you do, people will always have something to say. And you always, if you're not happy with your decision, you'll be disappointed because unfortunately people do as they please. So you could pay for everyone expecting that you'll get your money back. in gifts and you won't.
You won't, yeah.
Or you might get your money back in gifts. There's no guarantee of anything. So you always need to just decide within your means and within what you can manage. If it means that you get solemnized and that's it, and that's what you're happy with, then go ahead and do that. If it means that people pay half and you pay for the other half, then go ahead and do that. But you need to make the decision based on yourself, not based on what people think or what people say, because at the end of the day, it'll be you two in the house with a 40K debt if you decide you want to do something for the sake of pleasing others.
Okay. It's a long conclusion. Longer than the debate we had.
It's a paragraph.
Yeah, I'm in the middle as well. I think in a perfect, beautiful world, no one should pay. Right? No one should pay. They're your guests. You should treat them. But I think that you gotta be realistic. These days, I think a lot of people go to weddings to be entertained, not necessarily to support.
Yeah.
People will come back saying, the DJ was not good, like this guy said. People will say the food was not great. People will say their steps were not even that. I've seen people dancing steps and people not even cheering and
clapping.
So I think the attitude towards weddings might need to go back to where it all started, where people would come to celebrate the people who are together.
Yeah.
On that point, I think if people genuinely love you and want what's best for you, they will support you either way. If you tell them, listen, it's free, they'll support that. And they'll probably still offer to contribute the cost. People who love you will always have your back.
Yeah.
I remember even when I did your engagement party, there were people who genuinely loved me and said, maybe I can buy drinks, I can help with this. But the rest of the people said, okay, I'm coming. So I think people who genuinely love you will support you either way. They will understand if you have to charge, they'll be happy to pay that. If you're not charging, they'll probably be happy to contribute to that.
Yeah.
And I would say, regardless of which option you choose, don't think it affects the gifts you're going to get. I think if people genuinely want to give to you, they'll still give to you regardless.
Yeah.
I've been to weddings with my family. I remember there's this wedding, we traveled really far for it, and it was quite expensive. It was about $100 a plate. And, we still gave $500+ on top of the cost of travel and to attend this wedding. So I think regardless of whether you're charging or not, people who genuinely want to give you something will always give it to you.
Yeah.
Whether you could have a free wedding and receive nothing. You could have a wedding that charges and people will give to you. I think another factor is, like you said, people are people. I understand the charging. I think it's probably the safest way to minimize your risk. To make sure that you have a nice wedding, people are entertained, people are catered for, they have a decent meal, but you're not going to be in debt tomorrow.
Yeah.
And people who are willing to pay genuinely will have the commitment to show up, and that means and they're committed.
Yeah.
If you say I'm having a party and it's $50, if I really don't love you or don't really care about going to that party, I won't show up.
Yeah.
But if I have a genuine interest in being there, I'll make my way there. So yeah, it's up to you guys. But I'm not gonna judge anyone for doing either or. What do you guys have to say in the comment section now that we've put the evidence on the table? I hope you've enjoyed this week's hot topic. We'll have another hot topic for next week. Take care. Thank you for tuning in. God bless you and you and you and you and you and the one back there.
Bye, guys.